One. All right, we are live. Good morning, and welcome to On the Spot 947, where we sit down. We have a little tete-a-tete with some of the biggest and talented names in the arts, and equally those who are on their artistic journey in the hopes of influencing and changing the world. Yes, children, you can do that. Our guest today is someone who takes music very seriously, with his father playing the guitar and the legendary Bruce Springsteen living just down the street. That's what I heard, from where he lives in New Jersey. It's hard to imagine not being influenced by music in any way. And with music being a tool to channel his emotions, he started the year not just with a bang, but with a song that is both poignant and impactful. And the song is entitled "The Year the World Stood Still." And you gotta stand still whenever he sings his songs, or else you will lose the meaning entirely. Glad that we have him here today. Welcome to the show, Mr. Jack Newsome. Yoo-hoo!
Thank you so much for having me. Masaya na nandito.
Oh, wait, you can speak a little bit of Tagalog.
just a little bit. I know a few lines. That and mahal kita.
Oh my God. Wow. Okay, you just killed it. Interview over. Oh boy. You have a lot of Filipino friends over there?
Honestly, just the ones I've met online. I really I'm so blown away by the love and support that's come out of the Philippines. Like, so many people have shown so much love, and I really don't know. It's weird to process because I can't meet any of them in person, and this is such a weird time to be releasing music. So they honestly, my Filipino fans are like letting me know that things are happening, because I don't really feel the change. Or like it's hard to gauge the response, but they're the most vocal, and they let me know that it's like it's being received, which makes my job so much better. Yeah.
Well, we love you over here, and we'll welcome you with open arms when you visit, and when you're allowed to visit. That is, yeah. And
yes.
We're happy to have you here, and thank you for taking the time. Now, it's the first time for me to be speaking to someone who has spoken to Ryan Tedder, being in the same room with Ryan Tedder, breathing the same air as Ryan Tedder. One of my favorite singer-songwriters in the biz, of course. You also met Shane McNally and also Esther Dean. I'm referring to the show that's called Songland. Finally, it is a show that's for songwriters. The show is brilliant. I have to admit, I'm late in the show in the sense that I haven't caught up with season 2, but I'm glad that there's a show that can showcase both singers and songwriters, and not just singers who can sing their guts out on TV. Can you tell us how you got involved in the show? You're in episode 3 of season 1, just to be exact, which is where you came in. And how was that experience like?
It was a dream, honestly. It felt like summer camp. That's kind of how I've explained it to a lot of people.
Summer camp for musicians.
Yeah, no, because we basically just bunkered in a hotel, like near where we were shooting. And it was like 30, 40 other super talented songwriters, and we all just totally clicked, and we're all such good friends now. So that, if at the very least I could have not had anything happen from the show, and I would have still walked away with like 40 best friends, just because the other contestants were amazing. But Shane, not only was he my mentor on the show, but he is now my publisher. We signed a publishing deal together, and he and I have written so many songs since the show, and I think he's just so magical. And Ryan too. Yeah, technically Ryan is a co-writer on the song that Meghan Trainor cut, that I co-wrote on Songland. So I get to say that I co-wrote a song with Ryan Tedder.
Yeah, credentials.
I wasn't there in the room like tweaking the song with him, but they didn't really tweak much. So yeah.
Oh, that's like a dream come true for any songwriter, to have someone that famous like Meghan Trainor to sing your song.
So and
most people's perception is that when a songwriter writes about something, it's all about them, their experiences, their pain, their loss, their gain. I was wondering, where do you find joy in songwriting? Like, primarily, would you rather be writing for yourself, or do you also find joy writing for others?
I love writing for other people. I think sometimes it's a really healthy break, because when your life and stuff gets kind of heavy, you can kind of channel somebody else's energy, and yeah, it can be super it could be a great escape, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And it's also like in a way a creative way of distilling other people's experiences and making it sound like it's your own, right? That's also another beautiful thing about that.
There's a
And
lot of you kind of get to play pretend and kind of dress up in someone
yeah,
else's.
yeah, yeah. That's
It's
right.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, and if you don't learn from other people's experiences and apply that to your own as if you've experienced it yourself, then you're not growing both as a person and as a songwriter.
This is so true. This is so
Yeah.
true.
And before getting into Songland, you were also part of a boy band that's called NY5 and also New District.
Yes, I was. Yeah.
Can you tell us how was that like and how it helped you progress further into finding your own musical identity?
I think it was amazing training. I think it was really. It taught me how to work my ass off. It taught me how to. It taught
Okay.
me how to take responsibility and like, yeah. It was such a good time to develop a visual, develop a sound, and
Mm-hmm.
kind of, yeah. And I feel like my music now and who I am as an artist now is totally shaped by that. And it was
By that
a very
experience.
important time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You said working your butt off. I take it that the office hours are not as the 9 to 5 thing that applies to it. And you can go, way off the rails and be up still at 2 a.m. and cranking out songs and practicing your dance routine.
Yeah. I mean, it's 11 p.m. right here for me right now. So
Yeah.
I mean, but this is the fun part. Being able to talk about the music and getting to hang and meet new friends and stuff is like is a fun part. But yeah, that's one of the hard parts is that there's no office hours and there's no
Yeah.
set schedule. It's crazy.
Yeah, and if you have a hard time adjusting to that, then it's either you start questioning the career that you're in, or you just basically have to force yourself to adapt, or else
Power through it.
exactly power through, with or without coffee, you power through.
And being good about taking vacations, I think, is a good thing too. Being like, hey, I'm taking this week. I've worked the rest of the year. I'm gonna take this week. No one talk to me.
Right, and and hardworking artists like you deserve a vacation. So you take it whenever you can get it, right?
Yes, whenever you can get it. Yeah.
Yeah. I also guess working with others in a boy band taught you a lot about voicing your opinions, compromising, and patiently adhering to the creative process. And speaking of the process, I wonder which comes first for you. Would that be the music or the lyrics?
I am much more melodically inclined, but since I started working with Shane, I think about lyrics incessantly, and if someone could say something and I'll write it down, or like I feel like I'm always looking for that title and then the line that takes it into the title.
Right.
And I love kind of going into a session with that title and that main line, and then because I feel more comfortable with melodies, I can just sing the lyric that I have right there, and then the rest of the song kind of falls in place around it. But once I have that core, once I have the heart of the song, or like the destination, then I just have to drive there. Yeah, then I just have to, yeah.
Right. And if there's anything that viewers have learned from the show is that, Shane is very much, well, Ryan calls him a wordsmith. Yes. So I think that that is one thing that he puts a lot of value on, which is the lyrics and how you present that song to the listener. Because whether you have the lyrics in front of you or not, the words will just stand out if you word it right and if you say it right.
I was telling him a few weeks ago, I was like, you totally ruined the lyrics for me, because now if I hear a bad lyric, I turn the song off, and a friend of mine would be like, what? I like that song. And I'm like, were you listening to the lyrics?
Yeah.
He's totally it's like, ruined.
Yeah, he trains your ear well, I guess, is that, trains you well to listen. What's the fastest time on record that you've written a song?
Ooh, I wrote a song called Pants when I was like 17.
Okay.
And it was I had written it in less than like 20 minutes. It was so fast.
Wow.
I don't think I've written but it was I wrote it by myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think you can write a song that fast with someone else. I think that you kind of, when you're with someone else, the goal is to kind of to have this back and forth where you can really finesse the song.
Right.
And that's what I like about collaborating. But when you're by yourself, you can knock stuff out really fast.
Right. I mean, if you're collaborating, it's like a tennis match. You'll just, do this and that.
Yeah, literally like a tennis match. I say that all the time. Yeah.
Yeah. Because that's the thing about inspiration. When it hits you, you just have to go with it, no matter what time of day, no matter where you are. And I'm curious, where was the most challenging space, physical that is, that you had to write a song?
Ooh, that's a great question. These questions are amazing, by the way.
Well, thank you.
I'm so psyched. What's it called? Most challenging place I've ever had to write a song. I had to write some songs for school when I was in college.
Okay.
And I hated that. Like, I love kind of having free reign and kind of being able to do whatever the hell. I think it was a good exercise, and being able to do that and turn in an assignment was good. But like writing a song in my dorm room, like for an assignment, not for pleasure.
Yeah.
It's like
it takes the fun out of the whole process if it's for school. So and 100%. You also have to worry about other people judging it, or if not, your teacher saying that if it's good or not. So there's a little bit of added pressure there, added unwanted pressure.
And then over the pandemic, because of Zoom, I can basically write anywhere. But I don't think I've ever written like outside or anything. It's always been in an inside and in like a room of some sort.
Yeah. Not yet. Who knows? That's the thing about inspiration. You never know when it's going to hit you. But in reverse to that, I was wondering, where are you most comfortable writing your song? If not, a place that kind of like conditions you to write at the very least. Like some people can write in the kitchen because there's food there, or some people will have to write from a particular section of the sofa because that's where it's more comfortable to sit in and process things. Do you have a specific place that conditions you to write?
I write melodies in the shower a lot.
Okay.
I've written the whole, and sometimes it'll hit me out of nowhere. So like I have a song called "Not Going Out Tonight," and I was leaving a dentist's office or something, and I was like walking down the street. So I took my voice memos out, and I was just like da 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 da. And I was like, I feel like I don't know why or how it hits you, but when it hits, you have to like be ready. If you think it's good enough to capture, you got to be quick enough to capture it.
Exactly. I think there's some truth to that with regards to singing in the shower and being creative in the shower, because it's water running down, and water is tied with emotions, and and so because of that, I mean, metaphysically speaking, I guess there's a subconscious thing that goes on as well with it, and you're more in tune or open to your emotions when you're in the shower because of water. Just a side note. I'm sorry. I just had to, put that in.
No, I think that's totally true. And also, the steam is really good for your voice. So you're sitting there and you're like, I feel like I could sing opera right now. I could belt.
Yeah.
I could do whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And if the neighbors come knocking in, and that's another story entirely. But oh boy. One of the songs that you wrote that opened up 2021 for you was "The Year the World Stood Still." Now, can you tell us something about the origin of the song? I mean, some people may not know it, but I don't want to spoil it for people who don't. So I'd rather that you tell them.
So, "The Year the World Stood Still." This was right when we found out that we were going to be in lockdown when they were saying it's not going to be weeks, it's going to be months to a year. And it was so sad, and everybody was just like devastated. And my roommate who's another songwriter, his name is Connor McCoy, he's fabulous. He pitched a tent out in our backyard, and he was camping just to feel something, just to feel anything. And
right.
And so I had the title and the melody, and I knew that I wanted it to be kind of this thing, this moment. And I basically ran outside and I was just like, hey, I have this thing and I don't know if it is anything, but I really want to get it off my chest. And he was like, yeah, sure. So he came in and we knocked it out. That one was pretty quick too. I feel like that one definitely got written in under an hour. And I was able to talk about my sister in the song, and I was able to talk about all of the good and the bad things about COVID, which is like touchy because it's a pandemic. But like in LA, the pollution went down like crazy because traffic slowed. So we could, from
People
my
were
backyard,
not using it.
no one was driving for like 2 weeks. Like nobody was driving, and you can't see the stars usually very well at all. But there was one night I walked outside, and you can see like every little star, and I was like, oh my god, we are the virus. And so it was like it was crazy to kind of have that moment where people are dying, but nature is like coming back, and like, and it was just so weird. And I wanted to kind of freeze frame the anger that I had, because I was like this hustling 24-year-old young man kid, and I wanted to just get touring, and I wanted to do all this stuff, and I felt like I was wasting time. And it's one thing to waste time when it's your choice, and it's a different thing to have. It's a different thing for a time to be wasted on you. Like they're two totally different things. And I was so mad, and I feel like everybody else was. So I wanted to write something that we could listen to in 80 years and all sing together. Like when our grandkids are on their iPads and being
right. Yeah, and still be relevant in the years after that. I was wondering, had the pandemic not have happened and life went on as usual, do you think the content of the song would have changed, and it would not have been anthemic, but probably in a different way, and you still get to talk about the world and the society that we lived in? I was wondering, my point is, like, do you think you would be able to repurpose the song for something else if it had not been for the pandemic?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the title is very inherently about that, about the fact that I've never seen anything really in history that was able to stop, like, just the world. Everything was moving so fast, and like we live in a capitalistic, like, money runs everything, and the fact that it stopped businesses, like the fact that it stopped businesses was so mind-boggling to me, because I was like, there's no way that these companies who are only chasing money are actually stopping for this. And they did. And it's like, it was crazy to me. So I don't know if it could really be about anything else other than COVID, actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, I feel like that title is so about 2020. Right. If that makes any sense.
Yeah. Or I don't know, maybe because you're coming from a pop sensibility, maybe it's also difficult to repurpose that. But I've recently read that in musical theater, they do that a lot.
Yep.
Like what's his song? I Don't Know How to Love Him, from Jesus Christ Superstar, the one that's written by Andrew Lloyd Webber. It used to be
musical theater references. I love.
There you go.
I love this.
It used to be I Love the Kansas Morning. That was the previous title, but they repurposed that, and it became I Don't Know How to Love Him, sung by Mary Magdalene. So yeah, so
that's so good. I love that stuff. I love repurposing stuff. I'm sure like the melody could have been reused for something else, but that title specifically feels very 2020-esque.
Right. Yeah, we wouldn't want to have it any other way. So when it's fun for us, well, why change it? But do you feel that every album should actually have that kind of track? An anthemic one at that, one that's both poignant and galvanizing in a way that prods you to either take a stand or make a decision to at least live your truth, so that others can do the same.
Yeah, I think everybody loves an anthem. If you're at a bar and you're drunk with your friends, and it's always there's nothing feels better than like drunk belting a song. where you don't really care how you sound, but you're just doing
Yeah.
it because it's like that primal, it's like the wolf in us that just howls at the moon because you just do it. And
Right. Right.
I love anything that that's probably one of my biggest like missions as an artist is just to unlock the thing that makes you want to do that more than anything else, or like dance in your kitchen or dance in your shower or whatever it is. If it's not dancing, I want you to like scream the song. And if not that, then I want you to cry to it or something. But
Right.
just
Right.
to get some sort of, I want you to feel something, you know?
Something at the very least. And if you're drunk and you're
Anything.
singing off key, like a little bit flat or sharp, that's fine because you're drunk and you wouldn't know anyway.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
Oh boy. Now speaking of the album this time around, you currently have that collective work released by way of an EP that's entitled All Dressed Up. This contains 3 of the singles that are garnering attention and airplay, one of which we just discussed. But before I get to the other 2 singles, can you tell us something about the concept for the EP and how that came about, and why you decided to name it All Dressed Up? Now, is it because you're a snappy dresser and you always look fly whenever you step out of the house? Well, what's the deal here?
I mean, I've loved clothing my whole life, and I love fashion, and I'm becoming more well versed with it. I have a new stylist, and he's just
Okay.
amazing. And yeah, it's funny because the clothing and fashion part of it is newer. The song All Dressed Up was written over the pandemic too. I wrote it with 2 Brits over Zoom. I had never met them in person. We just wrote the song, and it was just kind of funny because the label heard it and they were like, "Oh my God, like we have so many ideas." And then we talked about it, and I was like, "Oh, this could be cool if you guys are hearing like a very like fashion forward moment in this." And then we kind of came up with this as the pandemic is coming to an end in some places and people are going back out, people are putting on their nice clothes again and they're like getting all dressed up. So I wanted to I wanted the EP to come, whether it's right as you're going back out into the world or helping you get ready for the opening of the world. Like I wanted it to come out and kind of be your soundtrack to like getting back to normal life, whatever that is. But I was very conscious because of The Year the World Stood Still and because of Arms. I wanted it to not be tone deaf, and I wanted it to be very about the times and
right.
Yeah, and I thought the timing of it was everything, and I'm very excited to kind of see how people are reacting with it because it in some places it is like go time, and I'm getting to see videos of people singing it in their cars or singing it with their friends that they haven't seen in months. Or yeah, it's really cool.
I'm sure you're doing your job right, so you know that you're on the right track for that. In terms of the singles chosen to be released, was that purely a solo decision, or you had to like hunker down and with your team, like look around and see no one's listening and rubbing your palms and say, let's get down to business, and this is the new single, and this is the next, and this is the next. How do you decide which singles to be released?
It was definitely like a mini challenge, but we figured it out. My team and I figured it out in a couple of days. I had a lot of songs in the pile, and we got to we spent a long time figuring out the order of the EP and stuff, and then the hot mix was made for All Dressed Up, and that kind of threw everyone into like a frenzy because I was just like, well, where do we put it on the EP? Did we make it like first track? Do we make it last track? What's going on?
Yeah.
We figured it would be cool to give the original track 1. You get through the whole project, and then you get the little buried treasure, the hot mix at the end.
Right. I love the hot mix. I love the mix.
Thank you.
It is awesome. Is that part of the planning as well, that you decided, okay, I do an EP now and release an album later, or what was the process for that? Why was it an EP first before an album?
I think this is great preparation because I have never toured so far.
Okay.
And I think that having a lot of songs to pick from, but saving album for like when we're ready. So like when we have,
more material.
Yeah, well, I think I have the whole album in my at least like 95% of it already done.
Okay. All right.
We're just trying to plan our next moves and be strategic. We might do some collabs with some different artists and stuff and try to branch out. But when album comes, I want the album to be like knockout. I love albums, and so whenever we get to that point, I am so excited to just craft a concept album and make it like a story and have this whole thing to it and make the visuals like crazy and
right, yeah.
And I've fallen in love with that process with this EP. So like doing the 3 music videos. Well, we just shot the 3rd music video 2 days ago.
Okay.
So
is that supposed to be a secret? I'm not supposed to know what song it's going to be for, or
well, I'm telling you now. You can expect a Hot Mix music video very soon.
Okay. All right. I'm gung ho for that. For sure. I'm going to share very night and day for that one. The second single, which is Arms. And let me just say that I'm loving this one because it is so happy. It's so bright. It's the kind of song that everyone needs to hear these days. Catchy and one that affirms positive vibes for sure.
Positive vibes.
Yeah, let me just play that for our listeners so they'll know what I'm talking about. And if you don't get to dance to this one, then I don't know what's wrong with you. Okay, here it is. Okay, there you go. I'm gonna start from the beginning. I can't believe it. You did something to your hair. I like how you dyed it. Might wanna try it. Don't even have to dare me. I can't believe it. Has it really been a year? Can't keep it together. What's got your head hurt? Baby, I'm all ears. Running down and your friends don't know. What a bummer. I could tell you when you keep it short on the cover. You've been down so low.
Sing!
And that's why that's why I'm coming over. What's the point of having arms if I can't wrap them around it? So that does not get me partying and dancing and really wishing for good vibes. I don't know what's wrong with you. Okay, so that's just a little snippet of how the song is. So not sure, whetted everyone's appetite. Like, how does the song sound like? Now you know how it sounds like. So can you tell us about the song and how that got to be written?
So I did a lot of Zoom sessions with a lot of new people over quarantine. And one of them was with my now partner in crime. His name is Cambo. He's worked with a lot of amazing artists like Van Miller and Doja Cat, and he's just brilliant. And we had our first session, and I wanted to write about COVID stuff, but I didn't want it to be another sad song like the other ones. Still, and what's it called? I wanted people to feel good, but I didn't want them to feel like it was contrived or like it was some made up love story or something. So Arms was born, and we wrote most of the whole song on that Zoom session. And then we got together, and I was wearing my mask and he was wearing his mask. It was a very weird session because the masks were kind of newish, and and then I only took the mask off to record the vocal at his studio, and it was just so weird, but I felt like we were like both writing in a diary entry, just kind of like talking about how a friend or a loved one or anybody could sing that song and talk about feeling lonely and being like, why do I have arms? Why do I have anything if I can't be with my people?
Right. What's the use of these if I can't, hold you right now and give you comfort, right?
Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. I so get it. The video also looks like it was fun to do. Where was that motel diner complex? I mean, it was an actual place, right? I mean, you didn't really have to construct it from scratch.
No, so that was built, I think, in the 40s or the 60s or something. It was built for a movie set, and then they never took it down. And they,
okay, let's do.
and my creative director, Louis Brown, he's a Brit, and he is absolutely brilliant. He grew up obsessing over old American movies, and we kind of just decided to make our own little, like, old school American movie ourselves.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was just so excited that he saw all these things when he listened to the song, and we got to do some crazy looks for it. He made the lighting look gorgeous, and yeah, it was such a an honor to work with someone who was so talented, and we both fed off of each other so well. And I get really uncomfortable when the song isn't fully like choreographed. I love being told like exactly what to do. I think I got that from the boy band days. And I sometimes I don't know what to do with my hands, or I don't know what to do in general. But we had like a movement coach on the set that day, and she was helping me do these kind of like fun, just like use the space, and just kind of it was really I had such a fun time, and I love that video so much.
Yeah, I was wondering with videos like that, like how much of it is you need as you say, a movement coach for it, and how much is that you just wing it by way of how you feel that day when you shoot?
Well, it started off. It was just kind of like a confidence thing, because it started off where she was kind of helping me do some like tricks and jumping over the what was it called, the seats and stuff. And just hanging out and what to kind of do to fill the space. And then by the end of the video, I was when we got to the microphone, the hanging microphone in the gas pump, it was just like go, and I was just doing stuff. Like I
was not expecting that microphone to be there. It's like of all places to have a hanging mic, not at a gas pump, but hey, it works.
I was so excited when I showed up at that location and Louis had the mic, and I was like, you are a madman. This is going to be so fun. And I just ended up, it was like, I felt like a kid in a playground. I was just like doing my thing, and he's so brilliant, and I had so much fun, and I love that video. Just I can watch it and feel how fun it was on the day, and it's fun to remember it.
And it translates. It does translate on screen on how much fun you had. I feel that logistically it probably is the easier of the video to shoot, because you didn't really have to contend with a lot of people appearing with you on the video. So in terms of the social distancing box in the checklist, well, it's a check.
Yep. We did have a sizable crew there. There was like maybe 20 people there, but they were all masked and everyone was on their best behavior, and we had literally no problems. The day ran super smoothly. Yeah. And then, yeah, very stark contrast to Friends.
Yeah, exactly. Very much. And we'll get to that as well. I was wondering, if you didn't end up singing this for yourself, did you ever consider, having someone else sing it?
I had never given that much thought, because when we did it, I was finally, for the first time in my life, I was in a place, because I had just signed my deal. It was the first time where I was like, oh, I think this is going to be for me, and I don't even think I need to like ask, because usually I have to be very careful. If there's another artist in the room, if there's whatever happening, I have to be like, who is for, what's going on, and or are we going to pitch this to somebody? So this was one of the first sessions where I didn't even have to think about that. But I'm wondering now if I had to do that with someone. Sam Smith.
Oh my God. Yeah, Sam Smith. Oh yes.
Bruno Mars.
Could be. Yeah, Bruno Mars. Yeah.
Someone with like, I mean, maybe if The Weeknd pivoted and did a happy kind of moment, it could be for him.
Yeah, I think that will work. The Weeknd. Oh my God,
Timberlake.
Yeah. He's your favorite, I know.
I love him
at one point. But a collaboration with you and The Weeknd would definitely be something as well. That'd be mind blowing.
I love him. I think it's hard not to.
Yeah. Which also reminds me, when you do think about being a songwriter, where do you think a songwriter gets their validation? From the moment that he's finished crafting a song, or when someone else gets to sing and record that song?
Yes. Both. I think
Yes to both. Okay.
Yes to both. I think that when you're in the room, nothing feels better than when you're talking to someone, or when you're coming up with like a chorus or something, and someone says something, and you're like, yes, and you get like an overwhelming like support in the room where people are like 100% that. Write that down. That's so magical, and that never gets old, and that's why I love writing with other people, because you can gauge stuff, and if it passes through all of the people in the room, you're doing something right. And
passes points.
yeah, if everyone gives their thumbs up, you're like, okay, we're on the right track. Yeah. Yeah, and then of course, if someone yeah, like I've had like dream artists record my songs, and I've gotten the demo back where I'm just like, holy shit, this is like the most validating. Like I had one country artist, I'm not going to say who, record one of my songs, and my parents are huge country fans, and I got to play that song for them. We went to their concerts like growing up, and that was a huge moment for me where I was just like, my parents are listening to their favorite artist sing a song that I wrote, which is crazy. Like, feels so good. Yeah.
I think it's gonna work well if you also get a collaboration with Lady A, or they don't call themselves Antebellum now, but Lady A.
So good. So good. I love them.
Yeah. I know. Lyric wise and melody wise, they just, what form of magic hat do they have? They just pull it out, man.
Oh my god.
Makes you wonder. So let's move to the latest single now, which is called Friends. Yes, it is the second song in this 7-song EP. And how did that particular song came about for you? Is this based on any particular experience, or maybe some of your friends?
It was based on an experience I wish I had. I'm so bad at hooking up. I'm really not the type, and I was determined when the song was written last year. I was like, I want to have that moment where I feel like I can just sleep around and have no regrets and not feel weird about it, and not get attached so easily, and so I kind of, that saying, like, fake it till you make it.
Yeah. That's right.
I definitely took that to the next level, because I wanted that so badly, and I was like, I have to pretend that I already practiced that.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah.
To make it happen. So and we wrote it. Me and a bunch of friends wrote that at a camp in Sequoia Forest in California, and we had such a good camp. And oh my gosh, that song was so fun to write, and I think it translates in the song. We had party vocals all throughout the song, just kind of letting you know what the vibe is, and letting you know that you should be, if you're not drinking or dancing around or having a good time, it's not the song for the moment. Yeah.
The video, I also feel it was a return to an ensemble cast, because you get to dance more in this one, which is great.
Yes.
You get to channel a little bit of that Timberlake vibe.
Yes.
In the video.
That was so fun. I love dancing, and I'm really excited to hopefully start incorporating that into more videos and into more live shows. And I love getting to dance in anything I can. And when I told my team, that was the most, like, that treatment, I told the team, I was like, it's got to be in an office, there's got to be dancers, and there has to be like office extras, and we need to build a world around it, because I think that'd be so funny if I showed up as like the intern or the new hire, and by the end of it, we're all making out in the closet. And that's exactly what happened.
It was just like, okay, did I see what I just saw? I was like, what the hell happened? I was like, mic drop. All right. Let's give it a listen, shall we? Okay.
Yeah.
Without a warning, we were crossing every line. Hands on your body and your hands all over mine. We went from texting, now we're sexing every night. Too many lessons learned to ever call mine. places where we go. You and me both pushing and go.
That's my favorite part.
Something just deep but spiritual. Blessing me with that physical. Infinite company, how about that? Oh, it's my weather right on time. Taking it straight to paradise. Oh, 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 oh. That's what friends are. We get on the page when nobody's getting hurt. Baby, that's what friends are. On the best of face when we skip the consequence. Only you start your hands. I need my evidence. We going down, we going down, we going gang, gang, gang. Baby, that's what friends are. That's what friends are.
All right. If you got friends like that, then well, you got it made.
Hey.
Yeah, that's true. I'm loving the vibe of those songs, and I'm sure that when you progress to a full album, you're going to be incorporating a little bit more of that as well, and probably something new that you discover along the way. We're nearing the tail end of this interview, but I just want to play a quick game. I call this Voice Your Choice. I'm just going to be naming two things that you get to choose which one has more significance for you. If you want to explain your choice, then that's great. If not, it's fine too. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm a geek, and this is very much obviously Marvel or DC.
I'm gonna say Marvel, but I'm also not the most well versed. I have a plan to have a full marathon though, and kind of fully process everything. Because I feel like I've missed out on a lot of. I've only watched parts of those movies, but I think in general I prefer the Marvel stuff that I've seen. But I need to. I'll come back to you once I'm educated.
Yeah, too bad Trevor's not here because he'd probably say Marvel as well. So
yep.
I'm the odd man out. So I'm the one who gets to be kicked out of the room by the end of the interview.
Amazing.
Okay, because it's summer and I think I kind of know your answer. Sunglasses or sun visors? Because you've been wearing that all through the night. So, Okay. Answer given.
Love me some sunnies.
I know. Single or EP?
EP. Mm-hmm. EP. I love a body of work. Yeah.
Okay, something you can mine and dissect as well, and share, and more stuff to share for people. Physical or digital?
I have a record player at my house, and I play that all the time. But because I have to turn over the vinyl so frequently, I'm gonna say digital.
Okay. Right.
Digital is set it and forget it. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Just leave it on repeat. You don't have to get up and change it or anything like that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Last one: heartfelt ballad or up-tempo dance track?
Right now. Right in this moment, because there's a time for both. In this moment, I'd probably pick an upper, an up-tempo
track. Okay.
Yeah.
You've released 2 dance tracks so far, so keep dancing. That's what I say. So
100%, and All Dressed Up is super dancey too.
Yeah. All great answers. So you win a prize. And the prize is you are always welcome to drop by whenever possible, and we can talk about this again the next time when you have another EP out or another single or another album out. You are always welcome to come back and talk to us. Just to recap, the EP is called All Dressed Up, and the singles are The Year the World Stood Still, Arms and Friends. They are available to stream as well as to purchase on Spotify, Deezer, Amazon, Apple Music, or wherever digital music can be streamed and sold. Go get it. Go listen to it. Where can they find you on social media?
You can find me at Jack Newsome on Instagram. And then if you make it backwards, some new Jack on Twitter.
I love that Twitter handle. when I tagged you yesterday, when I, I was like, oh, okay, some new Jack. All right, it works for me.
Yep. And then Jack, just if you type in Jack Newsome anywhere else, Facebook, YouTube, everywhere else, it should pop up.
Yeah. Nobody should have your name. Like, you know,
except Twitter. Except Twitter. Someone, I need to track this person down because they've been inactive for like 8 years. So I'm trying to figure out if I can get. I want it to be the same on all platforms, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Well, I wish you luck. I wish you luck on that one. Hopefully, Twitter will be able to help you out. But you know what? 8 years is too long a time for an account to be inactive and still claim that they are Jack Newsome.
It's not even his name. It's my name.
Exactly. There's only one Jack Newsome. Come on. Anyway, thank you so much, Jack, or should I call you Mr. Newsome, for speaking with us today. And I wish you all the more success with the EP, and may it open more doors for you and more choices for you to take and create for yourself.
Thank you.
Come back and talk to us again. And this has been Kaz for On the Spot 947. Till the next edition, we shall be on the lookout for the next artist we shall be putting on the spot. So keep it right here on All Hits, Mellow 94.7. Sounds good.